Indie games. The Volvo estate of games compared to the likes of the Ferrari Card and Lamborghini Far Cry. Games that it seems many people dismiss as not being big, flashy or noisy enough to warrant a look, let alone a play. But there are many out there who love them, and one cannot deny they are a great way for developers to get out their ideas or stories they wish to tell without company interference or time constraints, and a lot of time, indie games seem to put a bigger emphasis on story and meaning more than their big budget counterparts. It is mainly for this reason I have found myself slowly falling in love with them. So here I would like to present a few of my favourite titles that I have had the pleasure to play, games that have left an impact on me long after playing them, and that have shown sometimes under that hood of that Volvo is a V8 engine. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Unsurprisingly, this game follows the story of a pair of brothers. These fellow siblings are more of the adolescent variety rather than the mustached Italian type, and they are on a journey to find a way to help their rather sickly father rather than rescuing a princess in exchange for cake. The game does well to get across the story and emotion despite using a language sounding like the one you would make up to speak to friends secretly at school, as the actions of the characters and the NPCs speak more than words. Interaction with the quite pretty scenery and full of life NPCs from each brother crafts their unique personalities, which goes far in making you care about them and their quest. Is it a perfect game? Far from it. The puzzles are rather simplistic, and the controller scheme, where each brother is moved via each thumbstick, could be very frustrating and difficult sometimes to wrap your head around. Think patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time, and that's pretty much the gist of it. But these small niggles are just that, small, and I feel it doesn't take too much away from the story being told. Hotline Miami. Every so often, don't you find yourself just needing to break some skulls with a bat? If so, you may want to go and speak to someone about that. Ideally, someone who can give you a rather nice white jacket with very long sleeves. For me, that urge was settled with Hotline Miami, a game I would describe as a top-down murder sim, one where you will most likely find the number of times you die will probably equal the body count you rack up. Now, I am not the most skilled of gamers, and at first I found this to be very difficult, but you know what? I also found out I still kept playing. Over and over again, I just kept restarting, trying to plan my route of taking out thugs, only for it to fail and try another way. There was something so satisfying in finally passing a level that I haven't felt in many other games, let alone AAA titles. Over-the-top violence? Maybe. But games sometimes are a fun escape as much as an 80s Arnie's action film. Sometimes you just need to let out the stress of the day and smash that skull. Virtually, of course. And that soundtrack though, damn that soundtrack. Gone Home. After hearing a lot about this little PC game, I found myself craving to play it. Not knowing much about it, I got myself a copy, ran it at a rather shocking bad frame rate on my laptop, and settled down to see what all the fuss was about. What I found was laughter, horror, intrigue, smiles, and at the end a few tears. This would probably be best to describe my 2 hours with this title, a game which has been dubbed into the walking simulator category of games, which many people say plays like an interactive novel and argue is a bit of a stretch to call a game. But I would implore others to not let these tags put them off playing this title, a game I find is best left as a mystery to those who want to give it a shot. It's truly rare to find and play a game that hooks you into its story like this, that I feel pushes some boundaries in terms of its subject matter, and approaches themes that even some films and TV struggles show. Beautiful, heartwarming, and a journey of discovery would be the tags I would put to this title. And plus, that bonus cat diary, simply priceless. Journey. I have found I have used this word a few times in writing this article. Did someone say foreshadowing? But this title fully describes what it is like to play this game, and while some may be sad to find out it doesn't contain many guitar solos, mullets, or small town girls, it does rather well to prove the old adage of it's not the destination, but the journey that counts. A rather simple platformer in terms of gameplay, Journey, I would readily argue, is possibly one of the most beautiful indie games made. From wide open deserts, snowy mountaintops to underground catacombs, and bridges made of red fabrics, the visuals and settings are simply breathtaking. And while the story is simplistic, the vistas you encounter add so much. Hidden backstories of the world you find yourself in, from glyphs and cutscenes that never overstay their welcome, add so much to your time with this title, and help in crafting the story around you as you work your way towards the destination. This ended up being the title that had me finding that in indie games, I won't stop believing. Undertale. Well, what can be said about this title that hasn't already been said by many others? Short of making up some new words, not much. but it makes my list due to its impact it had on me. A short tale told in the style of old SNES era JRPGs, this game is simply a work of art. A lot of love and care went into this game, from story, presentation, gameplay, and all the more impressive is that the main bulk of it was made by one man. I was lucky enough to go into this as a blind playthrough, with only the fact that you can play it without having to defeat any enemies as my only knowledge, and boy did it make it worthwhile. It felt like it gave me everything I wanted from a game. Humour? It's got it. Characters to care about? You betcha. Puzzles? Have a load of them. Horror? Why not? And my most important want from any game, story. And oh boy, does this game have a story. From its awesome retro look, to music that sticks with you, a fun and awesome battle system and hilarious interactions, I find it hard to have any fault with this game, to the point that I'd rather play it again than have a ride in any Ferrari. So that's been a list of my personal favourite indie games. What are yours? Why don't you leave a comment below and let us know? If you like this video as well, don't forget to give it a like or a share and maybe even give our channel a sub. I've been Sam, thanks for watching.